Okay, this week's training, last one, is calves. And then what I will start next week is the actual exercise videos. So, probably the most dense collection of muscle fibers in your body, calves. And when you think about it for good reason, you are on them effectively all day. So they're continually worked with very, very high rep volume. Now one of the reasons people seem to favour high rep is because it takes a while to get the blood flow up in there. And obviously high volume, high rep will do that. However, effectively all you're doing is what you do on them anyway, continual high rep. So, you want your calves to grow, first thing you need to do is work over the full range, and a lot of people just don't go deep enough. The second thing, you need to use some weight. Don't be scared of going heavy on calves, but make sure you control it correctly. Now, this is where they're quite unique, I find, because the most effective way I found to work calves is drop sets. So, start with a heavy weight, warm up, work your way up there, and bear in mind they'll take quite a bit of warming up, and then go heavy. A weight you can manage 4 or 5 reps. Where you truly fail, and that's another thing, you don't see people training calves to failure. You see people pumping their calves, bouncing up and down on the tendons, not allowing the muscle to contract and move the weight. Just sit there and pumping away. That ain't going to grow big calves. It'll create some blood flow, but it's not going to grow big calves. You want big calves, use weight and use a control motion. So, a weight you can use 4 or 5 reps that you are truly going to fail on. It's a shiting dog rep to get that last one on. Then drop to another weight that you can get 4-ish reps on. Then drop again to a weight again you can get 4 reps on. And continue this pattern till you have a total of 20-25 reps. But each drop has only been 4 or 5 reps of maximum effort. That, I guarantee, will get your calves growing. Now, the other issue with calves, with a lot of people, is foot position. If you're wanting to hit that inner head, that big, round, flat face muscle, then you want to be coming up onto your toe. So you want to be focusing on pulling up onto your toe. If you want to hit the outer edges, obviously you want to be coming up onto the outside edge of your foot and your small toe. You can emphasize this by changing your angle of your feet, so heels in, heels out, but there's no real need to do that. Just a neutral foot position or slightly splayed, and just focus on loading on to either edge of the foot. Will do completely fine. Now, seating calf raises, and then versions of standing calf raises. That's pretty much all there is. You've got donkey raises, still a standing calf raise. You've got Smith machine calf raises. You've got toe raises on a leg press. But effectively, with regards to the movement of the calf, they're all standing raises. And then you've got seated calf raises. You want big, fit, heavy calves, go with standing. They're going to build more mass and muscle. And don't be scared to go heavy. I mean, at the biggest, I think mine were 24 and a half. And I was doing over 1,000 pounds on a calf machine, standing calf raise. Luckily, the gym I was in had a monster of a standing calf raise machine. I mean, the pads on it were 8-9 inches thick. And I used to come off and all my traps and shoulders would be bruised. But it grew big, powerful calves. Now, slight unlock of the knee or a locked knee will change the tension in the calf. I personally don't feel that there's any real difference or benefit to either way. When I go heavy, I'll tend to unlock the knee a little bit and put a little bit of cheap momentum in there, possibly. And then when I go stricter and lighter, I'll lock the knee and focus on keeping that posterior chain locked solid. So just the calves are moving. But, you know, heavy, drop sets and high volume at the same time. So there you go. That's how you get them to grow. It's quite simple. Doesn't really need anything else. Make sure you do get that peak contraction or as high as you can. Obviously, you're not going to get so much in the heavy stuff, so make sure you back the heavy stuff up with some light work so you can focus on that contraction point, and make sure you go deep. A lot of people just don't go deep enough. rep range is too short, the rep range is too high, and they bounce off the tendons. They don't use the muscular contraction in order to move the weight. And that's really it. It is so simple. It's just a mixture of heavy and high rep by doing drops. That's all you need to do. And they will grow. Trust me. You work up, and you won't need a lot. First couple of sets, 12, 15 reps. Drop it into sixes. Go through the weights up to your heavy stuff, just so you build up, so you're not bloating very, very quickly. Like I said, they are a very dense fibre. They do take a bit of warming up. You do 3 drop sets like that, and then drop to a lightweight and rep out. Guarantee, hit them twice a week like that, they will grow like there's no tomorrow. You won't be walking the next day, but they will grow. So this ends our little tips on training. So we will start next week with exercises. And I'm going to use my beautiful assistant, my training partner, Dominic. And what we're going to do is we're going to start probably, to be honest, with bench press. And then we'll do various, we're not going to go too much in that. I'm not going to do an incline and a decline bench press and a flat bench press. We'll just do flat bench press. And what we'll probably do is we'll do incline dumbbells. And then I can show you the difference in the angles and the line of track that you need with these weights. Okay, obviously flies, and we'll do a few movements, cable crossovers, and we'll go from there. And then I'll slowly work through the body parts. It won't be a totally exhaustive exercise list. I'm just going to go for the main ones. So, though I might throw a couple of weird and wonderful ones in that I do or that I've done from time to time and stuff that I've played with and developed to give you some certain twists on certain things. But that will be starting next week. I am sorry that this one is late this week. I have been swamped, workload and back and forth. Unfortunately, the youngest dog, Thuddy, has got pneumonia and he's got issues with his palate. So we've been back and forth to the veterinary hospital in Manchester, which has taken up quite a lot of time. He is on the mend, or he will be on the mend, but it's going to be a slow process. Anyway, enough of my ramblings, so I'll get off at that, and we'll see you next week for the first of the exercises.